A part of all you earn is yours to keep.
Okay.
And that's paying yourself first. So we work so hard, and it seems like we just all work for paying bills. And we know a part of all you earn is yours to keep.
It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
Welcome back to Getting Down to Business. So we are back.
Yeah,
Like
we're
I
back.
said welcome back, but we're back finally.
We're back.
We've been gone for a while. I know.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy. We miss y'all. We really do. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We have a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about, a lot of new content that we're going to be pushing out, shorter form content. So you're going to see a lot more of us. I promise you, everything's set up. So we are good.
Yeah. Hey, ballers. I'm super excited to be with you guys. So we missed you, like Rio said. So we just really want to jump into, something that's just kind of been burning on my heart, which is a concept called paying yourself first. Rio, have you heard that concept before? I mean, it's
Um,
it's it's kind of self-explanatory. We say pay yourself
I
first, but
mean, I get paid. I get paid for my paycheck all the time. So, I feel like I'm getting paid first, right? Right?
well, yeah, kind of. Well, in this principle, it basically is just honestly you prioritizing savings and investing and allocating, before you allocate funds to your expenses. So you put yourself high on the priority list because we all work super hard. And for us not to pay ourselves or for us not to have those rainy day funds or not be able to have the certain goal money, I want to go on a trip or I want to do this, I want to do that, right? And not having those particular funds because we haven't quite understood how to pay ourselves first. And I don't want to act like I've always just kind of known this concept and I've been doing it forever.
hmm
But I read this book and it's called The Richest Man in Babylon. Have you read it, Rio?
I think you sent it to me a while ago
And you
on
didn't read it.
Audible. No, it's in my library. It's in my library. I started reading it. I did listening to it, but I'm like on the second chapter.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm going to sum up the book for you just like really quickly and not no spoiler alerts. So you'll still be able to read the book and enjoy it. So basically, it's a self-help book and it's set in ancient Babylon. And so there's this main character and he's the richest man there. And he basically teaches people what he did to be labeled the richest man in Babylon. And so there's just a bunch of valuable lessons in there about saving, about investing, and how you build wealth. But one of the parables that was in the book that just stopped me in my tracks, and it's mentioned multiple times, is all you earn. Wait, let me go back. A part of all you earn is yours to keep,
Okay.
and that's paying yourself first. So we work so hard, and it seems like we just all work for paying bills. And we know a part of all you earn is yours to keep. So I have a budgeting course, and in that budgeting course, that's the very first principle that we go over. And we put ourselves first at the top of the line. And you should be paying yourself roughly 10% or more.
Okay.
10% or more, and you're going to have, you're going to pay your taxes, you're going to pay your 401k, you're going to pay your tithes if that's your thing, like you're going to pay your phone bill and your light bill and your mortgage and everything else, but you are also included in that equation because you matter and your goals matter, right? And so you want to be able to have a rainy day fund or whatever that is. But it's very important that we put ourselves there and that we label those particular funds. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. So when you're talking about paying yourself, you're not talking about just like businesses. Like if you got a business, we're talking
Mhm.
about also like personal, like regular nine to
Regular,
five, you know, regular W-2 employees.
regular folks.
So like give me some tips. Like how would I pay myself?
So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. I feel like the most efficient way is going to be you establishing a couple different accounts. You're going to have your checking account and
Hmm.
you're going to have your savings account. Very super simple, right? And so you're going to allocate funds. You can call your employer, you can do it yourself, and you're just going to allocate a percentage that's going to go to one place and another place, two different accounts. So I would have two different, totally different banking institutions. So I would have my Citibank and I would have my credit union because my credit union, I'm not going to find on every single corner. My primary bank was on every single corner, right? So it was just that subliminal message that, hey, you got money over there. But my credit union, not so much. So I just tended not to use it. So I would have my funds dedicated to my savings account. Boom, it's there. I'm not thinking about it. And then I have, my regular everyday funds I'm going to spend. I'm going to go grocery shopping out of this account, whatever, whatever, right? So I would say that is tip number one is just allocate your paycheck.
And the key is to have separate banks if possible, because I guess when I log into Bank of America, I see all my accounts. So I see my checking and my savings. And sometimes you could be tempted to move some savings money into your
Mhm.
checking. It's better,
Mhm.
I guess, if you just have, for example, checking account B of A and then say like a savings account with Navy Federal. It's like around here, Navy Federal is not accessible everywhere, right? So you could do something like that. So that way we can actually not think about that savings account.
Hmm. Until you get disciplined, because, like I said, I have a budgeting course, and that's one of the very first things I do. Is I'm super open and transparent, and I've been using a budgeting tool literally for years, and so I allow people to see. How I started my micro habits and ensuring that, I knew where every single amount of money was going to. And so then I started saving just automatically. And now, though, because I'm so disciplined, I can have all my money in one location, but the moment it touches that account, it's inaccessible. Like in my
It's
brain, I
gone.
completely just shut it down.
And
Completely shut it
believe
down. It's not
believe
even
me,
there.
people, she shuts it down. She will
Not
not
there.
touch that money. She will act like she's broke and she got tons of money. Yep.
I'm just saying, like, it's there because I have a goal,
Yeah.
right? So I started behind the eight ball in investing and saving for a rainy day, just because I did not have the financial wherewithal because one, I thought I was a low earner and back in the day I was a low earner and I felt like I couldn't save, like every dollar had to go somewhere. So I felt like I couldn't save. And then I didn't know what saving vehicles were out there. I didn't know, that there's places where my money can make money. I just didn't know any of that. And so as I learned in this journey, I've learned so much about where to put your money and just being disciplined. So I put my money in there, and because it's attached to a goal, and I tell all the people that I work with, let's define it. And it could be small. If it just simply means I want to save $100, because I don't know about you, Rio, but there's been some days in my life where $100 was either I needed that
It'll
hundred
make or
dollars
break you.
to stay in my break. It was breaking. It was like I needed for like rent, or I needed for whatever it was, like just to be able to have $100, like, and not have to call, phone a friend and be like, "Can I borrow
You know,
$100? Because
hey,
this is gonna save my life."
hey,
You know
that was
what I mean?
real. That's real talk. I've been in the same position, had no gas. Go to the gas station. Say, can I get $5?
Oh, I had one where I said I would never forget this. And I had been going just like I didn't even know that I was on fumes. And so I just didn't have the money. And then I was like, oh my God, my car is like stalling. And all I had was the money that was in the ashtray.
Ooh.
And it was $2.36.
Mm.
$2.36. And I said, I will never, ever, ever, ever forget that. And that's what I had to put in my gas tank.
Wow. And
Yep.
you actually went in there and said, I got $2.36.
That's
Can you
so
put it in my
embarrassing.
tank? Oh my God. That's crazy.
That was so embarrassing. I said I will never forget that dollar amount. And I was just like, wow. And thank God he provided, but still, like that's embarrassing. And so back in those days, very tough times for me to be able to even save, and but now things are different, right? So things are different. I know more, so I do more, and I do better. And I'm telling anybody on any income level that it is doable. You do have disposable income. Sometimes you know it, sometimes you don't know it. You have to think about things. There are opportunities I had to sacrifice, right? So, like for a long time, I didn't have cable.
Right.
I just said I could afford it. I could pay for it if I wanted to, but it was just a luxury in life that I decided to sacrifice, right? Because it just wasn't as important as me getting out from underneath the being behind the eight ball on certain things. So you have to have a goal for the money. It needs to
And
be
discipline.
labeled something
Gotta have that discipline too. You
and
know.
have the discipline
Yeah.
to be able to do it. And so it's really having that just like mind shifting your brain about how you look at your money and how your money is supposed to perform for you, because you're not supposed to be working for money. Money is supposed to be working for you. And so if you understand certain principles, you can have your money begin to work for you. But I was thinking about it when I was thinking about this topic altogether. I was like, I wonder what hinders us from really like shifting our mindset, you know.
I, for me, it was just tough for me when I get my paycheck, it goes straight into my checking account, and I'm just buying groceries. I'm getting stuff for the kids. I'm paying bills. I never think about putting money aside. So I think is that if that manual process, like how some people can take their money and just put it in the savings account, that manual process for some reason it gets lost in the day to day activity. But what helped me is when I realized, like with your 401k, you allocate a percentage of your paycheck to go to 401k, and you forget about it, right?
Mhm.
I didn't look into my 401k for like 8 years. Had it in the same index fund, not even making any money off of it. Just the money I'm
Mhm.
putting in, and and that was it. So when I finally looked into it and I changed it and went that S&P 500 index route, which we'll talk about on another video, but once I did that, my money started growing. So what going back to the whole allocation part, let's think about it. You could go to your employer, like you said earlier, and instead of allocating 100% to your checking account, won't you take 10%, 15, 20% and allocate it to your savings and allocate the other 80, 90% to your checking, and you
Mhm.
forget about it because it's automatically being done. So
Mhm.
after a while, you can maybe change that mindset all the way where you could do it manually, but start off with an automatic deal. And I think that's going to help people, switch over.
Yeah. And then too, we have to be mindful of all the things that are around us that are like tempting us even to dip into that savings, right?
Hmm.
Because, everybody want to have the newest iPhone, nothing wrong with that. People want to rock their Jordans, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if it has to come to at the expense of, your goal, right? That label, that going on that really nice trip that you deserve, or having a security and thought and peace of mind that at the age of 62 I'm not going to have to do XYZ because I've made certain sacrifices now, right? So it's thinking about for me, I tend to be an instant gratification person. Like, I see something shiny, as far as like, not necessarily like gadgetry and tech stuff, but like if I see a cute little piece of decor, like the mirror behind me or something, I'm like, ooh, that is bad. I really want that,
Hmm.
right? But then now I have the discipline to be like, can I spend, $500 on an object that's just
Right,
gonna sit there and look back at me and just be pretty? Or do I know that I have enough money in my account, right? And, I'm not gonna miss $500 and it's okay because this is part of my disposable income that I've allocated for things like this, right?
right, right,
Is when we don't have that allocation in place and every dime knows where it's supposed to go and it knows it's supposed to work in this particular area. And so just that's what I do when I have my money allocated to me, and it is going to go out and work. It's supposed That's what
say,
that
come
money
on,
does.
say it for me, say what's the saying, what, say it for me, the no dime.
No dime left behind.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
let the
that's what I
people
do. That's
know,
what I
no
tell
dime
people
left
in the
behind.
budgeting course. Don't leave any dime left behind. Your money should be doing something. It should have a purpose, right? So every dime should be either it's paying an expense. And even when you're paying an expense, well, how are you paying that expense? Are
Mm,
you using your credit cards where it's gonna offer you a cashback incentive? And so then you're
let
gonna
me,
take that money and you're gonna do something else. And
yes,
you know what I mean? Like everything should be working,
yeah,
right? Even the money that comes into you. Okay, I worked for it. I paid Uncle Sam. I paid into my 401k. I paid my tithes if that's what your deal is, or I gave to St. Jude or whatever that is that made you feel good. But then what about you? Where's that money that's
what
supposed to be working
about
for
you?
you?
Yeah, what about you, for real? You got to take care of yourself. You got to make sure to pay yourself. It makes complete sense, but it's something that we do not think about.
We don't. So just change that behavior, change that habit. And I don't even want to go into when I'm in the budgeting course and I'm talking to people about all the habits that they have. And so you think that you don't have money, but you got
DoorDash.
some expensive habits, honey. And that if you just made certain cuts and sacrifices in certain areas, you would be amazed. Subscriptions alone,
Ooh,
I have gone through with certain clients and I'm like, do you know that you're paying $350 in subscriptions?
ooh,
Do you know that?
that's not me. I was like half. I
350
was like
bucks. What else?
half that.
So you got it. We just need to find it. So that's where that concept came. No dime left behind.
Okay. Hey, I think that was some useful information for
I
our
hope
people. I
so.
think
I hope
so.
so.
People got to jump on this for real. You'll be surprised if you just do a couple of these little suggestions, these tips, how much it would change your life for real. That's our whole purpose here at Ballers Club. And just to let you guys know, we have a program called Credit Build
Yeah,
and Budget
yeah.
Right. Credit Build will help you build your credit, and we could help you repair your credit. Also, just to keep you on the right habits after we help you build or repair your credit, we got, Budget Right, which helps you with your budget, helps you with your budgeting. So please hit
And
us up.
because Mario, I'm sorry to cut
Go
you
ahead.
off.
Go ahead.
You have to learn how to budget
Hmm.
right so that you can take care of your credit right and
Yeah.
build your credit, because I've been there, done that, where the first thing that when I'm in a when back in the day, not now, but back in the day when I didn't have funds, what was the first thing that I did not pay?
Come on now.
Yes, credit card. I can't pay this credit card.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean?
you're not gonna pay a big amount. You're gonna pay like the.
Sometimes I couldn't even make minimums
Let me
because
tell you
I
guys.
didn't
Hey,
understand. I didn't
you make
understand my
sure you
budget.
watch this next video about credit. Don't ever not pay your credit card. All right, that's a killer. We're gonna talk about that later. But yeah, we
Man,
got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I
yeah.
really appreciate you guys, coming back and watching us, and excuse us for that little, you know,
Little delay, just a little
delay.
bump in the road.
We was gone for a little bit, but we was taking care of business. You know what I'm saying. So
Can't wait to share that with you
I know
guys.
we got so much content. So hey, we're about to go, and this is Rio de Janeiro.
And I'm your girl, Keosha. And until next time, keep balling.
All right, guys.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only